I'm Ryan, and today I'm going to tell you what equipment you need to buy for your first home brew. I'm going to be focused on extract brewing. There's three different types of brewing. There's extract brewing, partial mash, and all grain brewing. Extract brewing is probably the best way for a beginner to get into home brewing because it doesn't require any special equipment. You don't need to know a lot of these kind of special skills that it takes to do an all grain brew. Um, After you've done some partial or some extract brewing, you may want to get into partial brewing, and that can kind of lead you into all grain brewing later on. You can buy kits at your local homebrew shop or online that may have a lot of the equipment you need to start your first homebrew. However, I found that they don't always have everything. I personally did get one from northernbrewer.com, which they're not sponsoring me or anything. It's just where I got it from. And it didn't have the most important piece of equipment that you need for the home brew. And that's what you're actually going to be brewing the stuff in, is a kettle. Now, let me actually get the recipe kits that you may buy will probably tell you that you need a kettle, big pot, that's 3.5 gallons or more. Well, so you may think, oh, all right, I'll go get a 4-gallon kettle from Walmart or wherever for $12. That's not a good idea because 4 gallons of is not enough space when you're going to be boiling lots and lots of sugar and malts, and you're going to boil over with 4 gallons. And I did it the first time. If you get that water too hot, it will boil over, and you may not have enough time to react. So that's why I would recommend stepping it up a notch and going for the 5-gallon. All right? Now, when they're measuring these things, it's not 5 gallons refers to from bottom to the top. Okay? So, you might still boil over in this if you don't pay attention. But you're going to have a lot more time to react to it and stop it and get things turned down before that actually happens. Another thing you need is a spoon of some sort. Any stirring spoon. This is a really long metal one. You can get really long plastic ones also from homebrew shop, or you could even go to Walmart and just get a normal stirring spoon. There's nothing really fancy about these. I like the longer one because then, I can get down to the bottom and scrape malt off the bottom of the pan. Let's see, another piece you'll need, and actually this is kind of the option, and it's going to depend on if you buy a kit, you may get one of or the other of these. You either go with a Carboy or a fermenting bucket. Now, these buckets are not something you just want to go to Home Depot or wherever and buy a plastic bucket. You want to get something that's food grade, something that's not going to leach stuff into your beer, and poison you. Your brew shop should have these. They're about $12. It's 6.5 gallons. Everything I'm talking here is, as if you're going to do a 5-gallon batch. That's what most of the recipe kits online that I see, that's what I buy. So I'm preparing you for that. You can get 1-gallon kits in which you can even use that smaller kettle then. But the cost difference, you might as well go for the full 5 and call it good. You're going to want, like I said, you're going to want a 6.5-gallon pail. And then you're going to want to make sure you get, now this actually isn't a fermenting bucket. You could use it as one, but this is actually meant for bottling. This came in the kit that I got, and it has a place for a spigot to go on. So when you're bottling, you'd actually siphon from your fermenter into this guy. But it's pretty much the same bucket. They just cut a hole in it. And then for your fermenting bucket, you're going to want a lid. Now, I would show you, and I may still show you, but I can't right now, is the lid will have a little grommet in the top, and that'll be for your airlock, and I'll get to that later. Now, if you don't want a bucket, you could also go for the Carboy. These come in many different sizes. If you're going to use a Carboy as your primary fermenter, you do not want to use a 5-gallon Carboy. You're going to want it more room. Like that bucket was 6.5 gallons. There's a reason for that. If you try to do it in a 5-gallon bucket, you're going to blow out the airlock. You're going to have a mess. And the same thing will happen if you have a 5-gallon Carboy. Now, there's even different options between these guys. And I can't show you both options because I don't know the other option. You can get plastic or glass. Glass is nice because you don't have to worry about scratching glass and giving a place for bacteria that you don't want to grow. Plastic is nice because, well, if you throw it on the ground or drop it, it won't shatter all over the place. This is a 5-gallon Carboy. This would be better used for secondary fermentation, where it's not going to be as active, but it will still do stuff. To cap these, you'll get a rubber bung that's drilled. It may not look like this depending on what kind of Carboy you get. These were special for this brand of plastic Carboy. And then, it just goes in there. And then you have the hole in the top for your airlock. Alright? And this will be the same kind of airlock that you can put in your fermenting bucket lid. Alright? There's two different kinds of airlocks. I can't show you the other one right now, but I'll talk a little bit about this guy. This is a bubbler airlock, and so when this is sticking in the lid of either your Carboy or your fermenting bucket, we'll just stick that in there. You'll fill it up with water, or some people use vodka or the sanitation solution, and they'll fill it up to these lines, and then as the CO2 escapes through here, it'll start bubbling out up here. Okay? And this is so gas can get out, but things can't get back in. It's very important. The other kind of airlock is called a 3-piece airlock. I personally kind of like them a little better. They're a little easier to clean. And they're pretty much, kind of imagine a little cup with a pipe going up through it, and then there's like a little cap that can float inside, and you'll put water in there, and then you'll put a cap kind of like this on top of that, keep everything inside. You'll also want Star San or some other sort of sanitizing solution that you can get from your local homebrew shop. I use Star San because that's what came in my kit that I got. It's kind of pricey, but I believe I spent $19 for 32 ounces from my local homebrew shop. But you can reuse the solution you make. It's about 1 ounce to 5 gallons of water. So it'll last you a while, and you can reuse that solution. So, it's pricey, but it'll last. Another piece that you'll want to get, and this has saved me, a strainer. When you go to pour your brew out of that kettle into your fermenting bucket or Carboy, you're going to want this guy to catch all the sludge and stuff that's going to try to get out. Sometimes it is a nice pour out of the kettle, and all the sludge won't try to get out. Sometimes you have so much hops and other stuff in there that it's inevitable. Another thing you'll want to get is a funnel for your Carboy. Here, I'll go grab one of those real quick. This funnel is actually pretty nice because it has kind of a strainer inside of it. So this will be you'd want to use this for the Carboy. The fermenting bucket might not be deep enough, but so this guy has a strainer built in, and you can just pour your wort which is what the solution is called that you brewed in your kettle. You can pour right in, and it'll fill up your carboy. You don't have to worry about making a huge mess. I think that about covers it. If you have any questions, just leave them below. Tell me if you like the video. I'll do more. Otherwise, I won't, I guess. Or maybe I'll still do it anyway. Oh, there's one last important piece. You're going to need some ingredients. I recommend buying a recipe kit. If you're new to home brewing, you may not really know what ingredients you want to put in. So I buy a recipe kit. I have one right here. This is for a Irish stout, and it comes with everything you need, ingredient-wise, besides the water. It comes with a gold malt extract syrup, which is 100% malted barley. And there's going to be different syrups depending on what you get. It's going to come with the hops that you'll need, and sometimes you may find a pre-hopped solution. I prefer to add the hops. And it may come with dry malt extract. This kit doesn't, but it's just a powdery stuff that it'll come with, fermentable. And it may even come with some specialty grains. Ooh, but now you're saying, Ryan, you said it's extract brewing. There shouldn't be any grains. Well, I did say that. And I was kind of wrong. Specialty grains shouldn't have too much malted material. They're not really a fermentable. You're going to put these in a bag like this one, a mesh bag. And you're going to let these, what they call steep, in the water for about 20 minutes. And this will add more flavor to your wort. And then once you soak these for a little while in there, you'll take them out, and then you'll start adding the fermentable stuff. Now, an important piece that will make this become wort, make it ferment, is the yeast. A lot of these kits will come with yeast. Where I have been getting my extract kits from, they give you an option between a dry or liquid yeast. I don't really know what the difference is. I suppose you get a different kind of flavor depending on what kind of yeast but yeah. So that's everything you should need for a first brewing day. There's more stuff you have to get later if you didn't get a kit, and I'll cover that in another video. Hopefully the next video I create will actually be me brewing this kit that's right in front of me. It's a dry Irish stout. It should be a good one. If you have any questions, comments, just let me know below, and I'll try to answer them. Thanks.